Yo, 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 what up? Hey, if you in the bushes, pop out. Hey, Gears, if you in the bushes, John Frank, you in the bushes, I want y'all to pop out, man. I want to have a conversation tonight about cryptocurrency. A lot of people don't know what crypto is. So if y'all know Gears or John Frank's information, hit him up. Tell him I want him to come on the panel because I want to talk about crypto tonight. Let's see if I can put this in the chat. Gears and John Frank, I want one of y'all to come up, man. I want to see if we can educate this community on cryptocurrency. See if we can play a little music till then. Gears John Frank, I want one of y'all to come up, man. Let's educate this community on what cryptocurrency is. Because what's about to happen, y'all, it's about to get real crazy in this crypto world. If y'all been paying attention. Play a little song real quick.
Dear Dr. Shimizu, I've been a firefighter, a bodyguard.
Hey, the title of this live is What is Cryptocurrency, man? I want to see if I can give y'all a brief summary, brief overview of what is cryptocurrency. Yo, what up, Miss LJ? And even if the guys don't come up, man, I still want to give y'all a brief summary of what is cryptocurrency. So at least people will know what it is. You see what I'm saying? All right, so that's enough of the music. Again, I just want to give y'all a brief overview of what is cryptocurrency. Let's go right to it, man. People will come back later, they'll see it or whatever. Cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency secured by cryptography, meaning it uses complex coding for secure transactions. It's a decentralized system not controlled by a central bank or government and relies on blockchain technology for a public, verifiable ledger of all transactions. Examples include Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so basically, all of crypto is on a public ledger. It's on a public blockchain that anybody can go and see. Like, if you wanted to go see what Ethereum had going on and who, it's not going to show you like the name of who bought the crypto, but if you wanted to go see how much said person bought, you could go see that. Cryptocurrency is the wave of the future. You remember back probably about a year ago after COVID, they started to talk about the CBDC, central bank digital currency. That's where we're headed to, you guys. We're headed to a digital currency. And if you're not paying attention, I'm telling you, man, y'all are going to miss out, man. Y'all are going to miss out on some super stupid gains. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going to miss out on some super stupid gains by leaving your money inside of the banking system. To be honest with y'all, the banking system as we know it, it's about done. Technology is moving, man. Technology is moving at a rapid pace. Cryptocurrency, that is the next thing up. I'm telling you. And I know a lot of people are like, well, what is crypto? Because I've had so many older people ask me, well, what is crypto? What is that? Even younger people. And what people think that crypto is just one singular thing. But crypto has so many different avenues. So this is how I view crypto. I view crypto like an interstate, right? And an interstate has so many different off ramps. Like you can drive through Atlanta, and I'm using that specific because that's where I stay. You can drive through Atlanta. Let's just say 7585 goes straight through Atlanta and it goes all the way up to New York. So cryptocurrency would be the 7585 going all the way up to New York. But the different varieties of crypto would be the 285. It would be the exit 17, the exit 18, the exit 19, the exit 20. That would be the derivatives of crypto, right? And so the derivatives of crypto, and this is just from my opinion and from my perspective, the derivatives of crypto would be the different forms of crypto. Like you have AI crypto, that's artificial intelligence sides of crypto. You have a gaming side of crypto. You have a ISO 20022 side of crypto, that's the side of crypto which is the compliance with the banks, the banking system. And you have just so many different varieties of crypto that people need to know about. I'm telling y'all, man, whether you believe me or not, whether you're here willing to listen to me or not, it's totally up to y'all. But I have had some really extreme gains when it comes to crypto. From last year up until, I want to say the end of November, up until now, I have made some really good money when it comes to crypto, specifically in the area of Bitcoin and XRP. Bitcoin is the number one crypto right now. I don't know. We can just do the numbers here in a second, but Bitcoin is almost probably close to 100,000. I remember when people presented Bitcoin to me like years ago, man. I want to say well over probably almost 15 years ago. Because crypto has different cycles, right? But I'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, people presented Bitcoin to me years ago, damn near 15, 17, 20 years ago. And that was before people even understood how money could go digital. That was before, a lot of digital stuff was going on when it came to transactions. And so I didn't believe in that. I said, man, ain't no way that we're going to a digital currency and, we can move money that way. But I was so wrong. Now, when Bitcoin was introduced to me, it was around a couple of cents. Not gonna lie to y'all. Let's see how much Bitcoin is right now. Let me go. Give me 1 second. We're gonna look at Bitcoin's information. Boom. So right now, currently, Bitcoin is sitting at $104,305. Y'all see that? That's what Bitcoin is sitting right now. $104,305. Now remember when I told y'all this, because let's go back 5 years ago. Let's go back 5 years ago. 5 years ago, in 2020, Bitcoin was at about 9,000. Let me go to the max. Let's go to the max. And let me show you around the time that I was introduced to Bitcoin. And it was even before that, it was like 400 and something bucks. Bitcoin was really like a couple of pennies. That was right before 2016. And one of my best friends, he said, man, you might want to look into this thing called Bitcoin. I'm like, dude, I don't know nothing about Bitcoin. I don't care nothing about Bitcoin. Whatever. I was so wrong about it. And so many people who know about digital currency was so wrong about Bitcoin. If I would have paid attention when this guy was trying to tell me, I'm telling you, I would be a multimillionaire right now. And a lot of people, they could say the same thing. So we can't dwell on the past. But I can recall even today around, let's go back. Let me see, this is 2017, 15,000. Okay, around 2019-ish. I don't know if y'all can see this. I don't know if this is showing up real time. But around 2019, Bitcoin had dropped. Because before that, it had went up to like almost 20 bands around, let me see what this was. Okay, 2017. In 2017, December 16, 2017. And now I want y'all to pay attention to these dates because I'm trying to show y'all something. And hopefully y'all will understand why it's so important that you need to be paying attention to digital currency right now. But let me see something. Let me see if somebody's in the back. Okay. Again, nobody's here, but I'm still going to spit my shit because that's what I'm here to do. So around 2017, December 16th, 2017, Bitcoin skyrocketed to $19,217. Okay. And so I was like, damn, this thing went from earlier that year to $500-$600 to later that year of about, again, let me get back to the number, $19,217. So imagine it went from $500, $600, $700, $800 to $19,000 within a couple of months. And so that's when my radar went up on Bitcoin. I was like, oh, damn. Bitcoin it's the truth. It is what it is. And this is back in 2017. So now again, this is 2025. So you're talking what? You're talking 8 years ago? 8 years ago, Bitcoin was sitting at roughly about $20,000. But in the beginning, it was 8 years ago, earlier in that year, it was sitting at around 5,000. So when Bitcoin hit that 19,000 around December of 2017, it went down of 2018, which is called the accumulation year, right? Because Bitcoin, well, all the cryptocurrency is on a 4-year cycle. It's on a 4-year cycle. And so 2017 would have been that 4th year cycle, right? And so in 2018, it starts over in 2018. And so what happened was everybody took profits around 2017, which was the end of that 4-year cycle of 2017. People took profits at the highest max it went. They took their profits, and then Bitcoin dropped. So let's go from 2018 to 2019 at its lowest, the bear market. So the bear market of 2018, because again, let me go back. I got to educate you. All right. So you have a bull market and a bear market. The bear market is the market where after everybody takes a profit and people start to accumulate. So it goes from bull market at its highest peak, then it goes to bear market. It goes to its bear market at its lowest peak. Everybody start to sell off. You know what I'm saying? It starts to kind of devalue, not really devalue itself, but once everybody start to sell off, obviously it's going to depreciate in price. And so from 2018 to 2019, it went down tremendously from almost 20,000 to like, I want to say 3,000. Now, this is when my radar was up. And I went to my folks and I was like, yo, this thing called Bitcoin, man. What is this, man? I really want to invest in this. I literally had about 20 bands at that time. I had saved it up. I told myself, I said, man, from the rate that I'm seeing, if it went to 20 bands for one coin, if I can get me 5 coins for 20,000, man, if it goes just to that 20,000 again, I have 100 bands. You know what I'm saying? And it sounded right and it felt good, but the people I was talking to, they didn't believe in it. It was like, man, it's a digital currency, dude. You finna lose all your money. So I was so scared. I was skeptical. I said, nah, you're right. I ain't gonna waste my money in this. And again, this when Bitcoin was around $3,500, $3,700, $3,000. You know what I'm saying? I was locked in. But again, let me go back to the dates. So this was 2018. This was like December of 2017 is when this thing went up to like 19,000. So let me go, because I told you it's on a 4-year cycle, and I might be going too fast, and I will come back later on and break it more down to you, but it's on my mind, so I want to kick it to y'all how I know it. All right. So it went from the almost 20 bands in December of 2017. Now, remember I told you it was on a 4-year cycle. So that means 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 21. So from 17 all the way up to 21, again, it's on a 4-year cycle. Do you see how it pushed in that 4-year cycle? It pushed from, and maybe y'all can't see this real time when I'm doing on my screen, but from December 16, 2017, it was at 14,000. Okay. In February of 2019, it went down to 3,600. Remember, from 17 into 21, it was a 4-year cycle. I just told you about 19, it went down to like 3,000. So now let's look at 2021, what it do. All right. The early part of 2021, it went up to $60,000. That's a 4-year cycle. It went to like 61,000. That's the max it went up to, I think. Well, it went a little higher than that. But that was around March of 2021. On that 4-year cycle, it went to 61 bands, right? So remember, when I initially showed you Bitcoin, it was at 20,000 in December. So let me move over a little bit closer towards December. So this is November of 2021. At the end of that 4-year cycle, the max it went up to was $64,000 on that 4-year cycle, right? Because it's every 4 years. So from 17 to 21, that's 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's when it hit its highest peak, right? And it don't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. You know, I've been doing and researching this thing for a while, and this is just not Bitcoin, but this is all cryptocurrency, because all of the cryptocurrency follows the number one cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin, right? And again, once y'all see this back, I want y'all to do your own research and you'll see what I'm talking about. So again, from 2017, December of 2017, Bitcoin was at its highest peak around 20 bands, right? In 4 years, it went from 20 bands to 64 bands. So that kind of 3x'd in a 4-year period. It went from 20,000 to 64,000, right? So that means that, guess what? From a 4-year period from 2021, then of the latter part of 2021 and the latter part of 2017, that's when what? It hit its biggest cycle. So now let me keep going. Because again, it don't take a rocket scientist. It's right in your face on a 4-year cycle. So what happened in 2022? In 2022, Bitcoin dropped. It dropped from 64,000, and then the next year, because it was the bear market, it went down at its lowest peak, 17,000. So it went from 62,000 to 17,000 at its lowest part, which is called the bear market. Everybody sold off from the end of 2021 to the end of 2022. People start to sell off because guess what? They made all these gains. They made stupid gains, right? So guess what you're going to do? Once you make these gains, you're going to sell off, right? That's just how it goes. So if you're holding the crypto and you're like, I'm going to hold this thing for 40 years, that don't make sense. Because once you understand the bear and bull market, you'll understand that there are periods and phases that cryptocurrency is going to do great, and in phases it's going to do bad. So why would you hold beyond the bull market, right? You wouldn't. It makes no sense. You will sell during the height. If you can gauge the height of the bull market, you will sell then, and then you will buy back during the accumulation phase, which is called the bear market. So let me show you what I'm talking about if you guys can see. I don't know if this is showing up real time, but I put it on here and it should be. So let me go back to 2017. So 2017, it was at, let me go to it if I can get to it. It was at 20,000 in December. And so obviously what you're going to do, that's the height of the bull market. Everybody started to sell. Sell. So 2017, so by the end of 2018, it dropped tremendously. Why? Because people start to sell off. But then once they sold off, people start to accumulate during this time. They say, you know what? We sold it. It dropped. So now let's buy back in. We're going to buy back in at this low phase because guess what it's going to obviously do? It's going to run back up. So moving into this 4-year cycle, you had year one, which is 18. People sold off by the end of year one. Year two, people started to buy in back. They started to buy in back in year three. And then now on this fourth year, 2021, boom, what did it do? It went up to 61,000 in March. Then it took a big dip. And then by the end of 2021, it went up to 64,000. 4-year cycle. I need y'all to follow me. It's a 4-year cycle when it comes to crypto. So from 17 to 21, that was a 4-year cycle. So obviously from 21 to 20 what? 5, it's a 4-year cycle. We are in 2025. So 2021, let's go back from 2017. From 2017 to 2018, what did it do? Everybody sold off. Sell. So by again now from 17 to 18, by the end of 18, people sold off and it became a bear market. So now if it's 2021, people sold off. So if the numbers are right, by 2022, the end of 22, people should have sold off. So let's look at it. 2021, boom. End of 2022. You see, come on, man. If y'all can see this in real time, how I'm showing it to you, by the end of 2022, it went from 60,000 down to its lowest at 16,000, right? 4-year cycle. So boom, 2021, the end of 2021, it hit its bull market. 17, end of 17, it hit its bull market. From 17 to 21, 4 years. Boom, 4 years. So now from 21 to 25, it's going to be another bull market. Come on. If y'all follow me, it don't take a rocket scientist to see this. So now let's come into from 17 to 25. So from 17 to 18, from 21 to 25, from 21 to the end of 22, boom, you have a bear market because everybody sold off. It went to 16. But since then, what have people been doing? Accumulating. They've been accumulating. They've been buying. It went from 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 64,000, 62,000. It beat its all-time high at 64,000. Now it went from 90,000 for 2024. Now it's 2025. And again, you guys, what did I say? It was a every 4-year cycle. So from 2021, the end of 2021, it was a bull market. Everybody sold off. So by 2022, the end of 2022, guess what? It was at a bear market. So The bull market happened where? At the end of 2021. So that means if you're looking at the technical analysis, and that's what we're actually looking at right here, at the end of 2025, there is going to be another bull market. This is March, I'm showing you guys right now, of 2025. Well, January, coming into March, it went down a little bit. But anyway, right now it's May 2025. It's at $104,000. If you're looking at this pyramid, how it's set up, from 17 to 25, it's only going up. But you see those periods of when it went down, that's called the bear market. You see that big spike, then it goes down. The big spike is the bull market. The big drop is the bear market. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, bull market. 17 was a bull market. 21 was a bull market. 18 started the bear market. 22 started the bear market. So from 22 to where we are now in 25, we're leading back up to what? If you're paying attention. If anybody in the chat could tell me, the bull market. By the end of 2025, Bitcoin will not be at 104,000 and what it is now. Bitcoin will probably be around 200,000 plus, because if you're watching the chart how I'm showing it to you, it only goes up. We're at the end of the bull market. That's what I'm telling you guys about. So by 2026, that's when we'll be back at the bottom, because people are going to sell. Once the end of this year happens, once the end of 2025 happens, Bitcoin is going to reach its highest peak the same way it did in 2021 on a 4-year cycle. It's going to reach its highest peak. People are going to get profits and see that it reached its highest peak. They're going to start to sell. Everybody's going to sell. And then by the end of 2022, they ended up being a bear market. So that means by the end of 2026, it's going to be another bear market, leading back up into what? 2029. Because 2025 is the bull market. Do you see this big candle right here? Do you see this big candle? Again, I don't know if you guys can watch it real time how I'm saying it. This is a huge candle right here that happened from March of 2025 until now. A huge candle happened. It went from 80,000 up to $104,000. Huge candle. That's only going to go up higher, leading to the end of 2025. The president, Donald Trump, just came and told you guys that the market is about to go bananas. And if you have some money, you need to invest. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. I just wanted to show you the technical analysis of cryptocurrency so you can kind of gauge and see for yourself how it only goes up. It's going to go up a period, and then it's going to go down a period. You need to know, as an investor, at what point it's going to go up and at what point it's going to go down. So again, a lot of people are saying, I'm holding forever. That makes no sense. For you to hold forever makes no sense. The smartest thing that you could do is hold until the end of the bull market and then sell off and make your profits, right? That's what makes sense. So I showed you this on Bitcoin. Let me go back and I'm going to show you on another top 20 coin. Let me see how I go on to that. The next coin I'm going to show you is Ethereum. Ethereum. Let's look at a max of Ethereum. Boom. What did I tell you? 2017, right? And it's reached a little bit beyond 2017, but you kind of still get what I'm saying. It's around that time period. Ethereum hit its max. Remember, Bitcoin hit its max in December of 2017. Ethereum hit its max around January of 2018. Because why? Bitcoin is the leading coin. So all altcoins, alternative coins, are going to reach their max after Bitcoin. Why? Because once all this money starts to flood into Bitcoin, with it being the number one coin, once people make profits from Bitcoin, they take that money and then they put it back into the alternative coins, which are the secondary coins to Bitcoin, right? And so I showed you from 2017 of December, Bitcoin hit its max, right? And so with this being an altcoin, an alternative coin of Bitcoin, right after that, the next month, what happened? Ethereum hit its all-time high of 2018, right? I told you it's on what, a 4-year cycle. So if I'm correct, that means 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So that means between 21 and 22, Bitcoin should have hit another all-time high. I'm moving over, 2021, 21. By the end of 2021, what happened to Ethereum? Ethereum hit another all-time high. 4-year cycle. It hit an all-time high of about, if I can get this right, about 4,600. So it went from about 1,300, and in the 4-year cycle, it moved up to 4,600. That's in a 4-year cycle. And what happened? Because again, going back to this 4-year cycle, when it hit its peak, people sold. People start to accumulate. This 4th year coming in, hit its peak again. People start to what? Make profits. They made hella profits in here. All this is number profit. Profit. Then guess what? At the end of the 4-year cycle, which is the end of the year, what do people do? They sold. Sold. So if this is 2021, then if my calculation is correct, then moving into 2025, that's when we should see another spike. 2021, 22, 22, people sold. Sold. Accumulate. 2024, boom. So you see this candle. End of 2025. Well, the beginning of 2025. This candle is going to do nothing but what? Go up. This thing is going to go up from May 12th, 2025 until the end of December. It's going to go up. And it's going to go up to an all-time high. It's not going to go up to the 4,000, which is in 2021. This is going to go way up here somewhere. If y'all can see me real time with what I'm showing y'all. This thing is finna go bananas. We're talking about maybe a $12,000 Ethereum coin per coin. That's what's going to happen with Ethereum. So let me dial back up again. That's Ethereum. Let me go to another top 10 coin. Cardano. All right. So let's look at the max of Cardano. This should, from what I told y'all, 17 to 21, right? That's what the areas we're looking at. And from 21 to 25, because why? We're on a 4-year cycle. I can't make it up. The numbers is going to tell you the truth. So this should be around what? The beginning of 2018. Because why? These are altcoins behind what? Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the catalyst of all altcoins. So Bitcoin went bananas in December of 2017. What happened to Cardano? And the next month, Cardano went to its all-time high. It went from 11 cents up to, if I can get this correct, move this over. It went from 11 cents up to $1 in the beginning of 2018. Because again, it's on a 4-year cycle. So what? it should be around 2021, 2022 when this thing did another all-time high. Because why? It's on a 4-year cycle. So 2018, what happened? People took profits, sold, accumulate. They started to accumulate around 2018, 2019, 2020. So guess what? If my calculations are correct, around 2021 is when it went to another bull market. So let's move over and let's see. Boom, 2021. What happened? At its max peak, August of 2021, Cardano was at its all-time high of $2.85. 2021 on a 4-year cycle. Right? If y'all are looking at this in real time, how I'm seeing it. 4-year cycle. So that means, guess what? After it went to its all-time high on a 4-year cycle, what did people do? Sell. By 2022, what did they start doing? Buying back. Buy at the slowest peak. During the bear market, they started to buy. It started to rise back up. So what are we headed to now? We're headed to what? 2025 on a 4-year cycle. You see that big candle right there? That signifies where we're headed to. Why? Because guess what? Look at this. Let me see. Look at this big candle. This big candle is this same big candle right here. It's the same candle. Boom, in 2021, boom, that's the same candle. That shows you what? It's about time to pop the cherry. So by the end of 2025, this Cardano is going to be stupid up here. It's going to be way up here. Because if you look at the chart, boom, boom, boom. It goes from here to here, and it's going to go up to here. Again, it don't take a rocket scientist to see this, man. It's easy math, simple. And with the president, no other presidency has been down with cryptocurrency like the new presidency. A lot of people hate they hate Donald Trump, right? He says a lot of crazy stuff. I get it. But he is pro-crypto. He has his own cryptocurrency, So he's down with cryptocurrency. So guess what? Crypto right now is about to go bananas. We are approaching the end of the bull market. I showed you already. At the end of the bull market, it's going to go bananas. You're going to see 5, 10, 20x gains. So that means if you put 1,000, you can turn it to 5,000. You can turn it to 10,000, or you can turn it to 20,000. It depends on the project that you're investing in. Again, that is Cardano, right? So now let me go to Solana. All right. So now I'm in Solana. And let me show you about Solana. For everybody who's going to come back and watch this. Because again, I'm here to give information. I'm not even caring about the views of everything. I'm here to give you information so you can make a educated decision on what you want to do and how you're going to make money, right? So let's look at Solana. So I told you guys the dates. I told you from 2021 to 2025 on a 4-year cycle. I'm sorry, I showed you from 17 to 2021 at a 4-year cycle that at the end of that 4th year, it should do crazy gains. So with Cardano, was it Solana? Solana being a newer coin, it didn't come out until the end of the middle part of 2020. So, but guess what ended up happening? The 2021, like I was telling y'all, what happened at the end of 2021, just like Bitcoin and all the other coins, what happened? It reached the all-time high of $250. What did people do? People sold. They sold. So by 2022, the end of 2022, what happened? It reached its all-time low because people sold. And so if my calculations are correct, by 2025, the end of 2025 on a 4-year cycle, Solana should do parabolic numbers. And what has happened since then? They sold. People started to accumulate. What has happened? 2023, it rose. Because you got to look at it. You got to look at this thing from a big view, from the totality of the view, not just for a couple of months. You got to look at it for the extensive view of the coin. What's it done? It's risen. Boom. March of 2024, last year. Boom. It hit highs. Then it took a dip. People start to accumulate, sell off, accumulate. Then boom. By the end of 2024, it did something massive, right? So boom, coming into 2025, it hit a big candle. It hit a huge candle. Boom, huge candle right here. So guess what's going to happen? If you're looking at this thing again from its totality, you're looking from here. If I can get this right. You're looking from here to here to here. So this thing should be somewhere in here by the end of this year. So you're talking probably around $400 to $500 to $600 by the end of 2025. So I've just showed you a few of the top 10 coins and how they move on a 4-year cycle behind Bitcoin. So it's totally up to you. It's up to you on what you think and what you feel about cryptocurrency. The US dollar is about to be null and void. Everybody is moving away from paper currency. The fiat system is over. The banking system, I'm not going to say the banking system is over, because guess what the bank is going to do? Once the banks see that the people are moving towards a digital currency, like most banks are doing now, banks are going to move towards a digital currency, and they're going to want to custody your currency at their bank. So they're going to move from a paper system to a digital system. I'm telling you guys, man, if y'all are trying to make some good gains, y'all want to make some good money, cryptocurrency is the way to go. But the thing is, you can't just throw your money in any cryptocurrency. You have to find the projects that are doing well and has a bright future behind them. There are over thousands of cryptocurrencies out there that you could put your money into, right? But you have to find the ones that make sense and that are real world assets, the ones that are doing real world work that's going to be brought into the normal society. Now I'm going to give you this last one. This is my favorite coin because this is the one that I'm heavily invested into. I love it to death. I'm saying love it because I have made tremendous gains off this coin. And this coin is called XRP. Let's look at XRP on its totality. XRP, 2017. You remember I told you? What happened in 2017 of Bitcoin? The end of 2017. Let's go to the max on this. The end of 2017, well, the beginning of 2018, because I told you all alternative coins follow what? Bitcoin. So Bitcoin at the end of 2017 hit its all-time high. All alternative coins followed directly behind it. So if Bitcoin hit its all-time high of 2017 in December, so that means just like Solana, just like Cardano, the altcoins are going to follow right behind the Bitcoin. So XRP hit its all-time high when? In 2018, the next month in January. People sold. They sold, and started to buy back in. So if my calculations are correct, around 2021 is when we should see another spike. And what do we have here? We see another spike in 2021. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, why don't we see a massive spike like we've seen in the other ones? See, XRP is a different kind of coin. XRP is a different kind of coin. XRP is a coin all in itself because XRP is the banker's coin. Remember I told you guys about this thing called ISO 20022 compliance. Look it up for yourself. Don't just listen to me. Look it up for yourself. XRP is a part of the ISO 20022 compliance that all banks and all of the governmental transactions have to adopt by the end of what? 2025. By November of 2025, all of the banks and all of the governmental payment systems will have adopted all of the ISO 20022 coins, which XRP is leading. So are you guys following me? What's the coincidence that by the end, in November of 2025, because I've showed you guys on a 4-year cycle that around November of this year is when coins are going to go what? Parabolic. They're going to go bananas. So the reason that XRP didn't take a big spike in 2021, it went under a lawsuit. The SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, they filed a lawsuit against XRP because they were saying that XRP was a security. And I would have to get into that later on with you about what securities are and what non-securities are. But what happened was, in my opinion, the government saw the value of XRP, and it saw that XRP was a coin of itself. It wasn't like a typical cryptocurrency. So what XRP does, XRP is a transferring system of money. So where, although Bitcoin is at 100 and something thousand, I know you're looking at the price. Like, okay, XRP ain't but at 20, $2.39. How could that be the best coin? Because Bitcoin takes days to process, right? If you sending money through Bitcoin, it'll take at least a day to process. And the fees are astronomical when it comes to Bitcoin, the gas fees. When it comes to XRP, it's a fraction of the cost. XRP is a cross-border payment system. So that means I can take money from America, send it to China within seconds, not a day. I can send as much as I want within seconds for a fraction of the cost. I can send $10 for under $1, or I can send $10 million for guess how much? Under $1 in a fraction of seconds dealing with XRP. Now, if I did that with Bitcoin, it would cost much more than under $1 and it would take much longer. That's why they suppressed XRP in 2021, because they saw the potential of XRP. And they said, guess what? This is not like the normal coin here. This isn't a cryptocurrency. This is an actual service. And so since then, XRP has been fighting the case from 2021 up until now. They've been fighting the case with the SEC. The old SEC chairman, his name was Gary Gensler. He'd been holding XRP back for the last 4 years. But guess what? Donald Trump, before he got into office, it was so many people that knew that Gary Gensler was a crook. He was holding a lot of cryptocurrency back. So the people went to Donald Trump and said, Mr. Trump, we will vote for you. You have to get this crooked guy out of office, off of the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission. And if you do, we will vote for you. And Donald Trump said, guess what? If you guys vote for me, my first day I will fire Gary Gensler, the guy who was over the Securities Exchange Commission, who was holding XRP back. So guess what? Donald Trump became president. First day in office, guess what happened? Gary Gensler resigned. He resigned because he knew that his job was done, because the people had spoken. The people who love XRP and other cryptocurrencies, they spoke because they knew who was holding back these certain cryptocurrencies, especially XRP, because again, XRP is a whole different coin in its own. It's a part of the ISO 20022 objective. So, if you're watching this in real time, how I'm showing it to you, and I hope you guys can see this, boom, 2021, XRP, the lawsuit happened, it started to die down because people weren't believing in it. China took their money out of the system around 2020, around this time. China said, you know what, we're not investing in cryptocurrency at all. They took their money out of cryptocurrency, period. Because again, I told you XRP is a what? It's a cross-border transaction system, cross-border payment system. So guess what? China was down with it because they knew we needed to bridge the gap between the borders of China and America. So when they saw the crookedness happen, they took their money out. But guess what? People sold. People still believed in it because they were making business deals. XRP still was in the fight. They were fighting this lawsuit. They fought it and people still was buying. So around this time, at the end of 2024, Donald Trump became president. Guess what happened? You see this big spike? Boom. That was simply off of Donald Trump becoming president. That huge spike, because guess what the people knew? They said now XRP can finally fly. It can finally fly. So XRP went to its all-time high of $3.20. It went from, I bought in at 50 cents. Because I want to give you guys an understanding. I bought in XRP in 2022, around this time frame right here, if y'all can see it. I bought in right in here, October-ish of 2022. It was like 52 cents. And I just held it. I said, you know what? I'm going to hold it. I had a good friend tell me about XRP. I didn't know about XRP until he told me. He said, man, it's a lawsuit happening. So if you really want to buy a coin, this is the one to buy. So I said, you know what? Let me look into it. I spent a couple of G's, threw it in the XRP. Didn't know what it was going to do, but I believed that, hey, if there's a lawsuit going on and if they had a good chance of winning, I'm going to throw my money into XRP and see what happens. Guess what happened since then? Now where we are now in 2025, XRP has won its lawsuit. Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, is gone. They have won their lawsuit. So guess what XRP is about to do? XRP is about to go parabolic, man. Donald Trump met with the owner of XRP. They had a sit-down meeting, and I'm telling you guys, if y'all don't understand what is happening here, man, I'm trying to give y'all a quick summary. I probably should have been telling y'all about this, but I'm trying to give you a quick, brief overview of what's about to happen with this digital currency. If you have a couple of dollars, I'm telling you, put you some money into some of these top performing coins, and you're going to make a nice profit. You're going to make a profit because now you finally have a governmental system, which is the Republican system, which is led by Donald Trump, that is for cryptocurrency. There's never been a system that was for cryptocurrency. All of the previous presidents have been against cryptocurrency. Biden was against cryptocurrency. Barack wasn't all too fond of cryptocurrency. Barack did 8 years. Biden did 4 years. That's 12 in itself. Trump did 4 years. That's 16. So for the last 16 years, crypto has been up and down. But guess what? Donald Trump, as soon as he got into office, he supported cryptocurrency. He told the people, get me in there and we're going to watch crypto grow. I bought again when XRP was at 50 something cents. Now it went up to $3 and something. So I took, I would say, 4,000. I turned $4,000 into damn near 25,000 within a couple of years, 2-3 years. And that's just at its minimal peak. I mean, like 24, 25, 20, damn near $30,000 off of XRP. And I'm holding it because it went from 50 cents to $3. So now they're predicting that it's going to go from the $3 frame up to like $10 to $25. So now you're talking, my potential gains could be up to in its hundreds of thousands. You see what I'm saying? If you know what you got going on, man, you gonna hold on to it because this is the future. This man, cryptocurrency ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you, man, y'all better pay attention. You ain't gotta listen to me though. But I promise you, within the next 5 to 10 years, just like when Apple came around, just like when the cell phone popped up, just like when the internet popped up, people are gonna be like, damn, I should have invested in that. You remember when I told you about Bitcoin? When I first saw it, it was pennies, damn near $5, $10. That's where I am now with XRP and a lot of these other coins. Now I understand that this thing ain't going nowhere, man. This system isn't going anywhere. And now you finally have a presidency that's down for the cause. So guess what's going to happen? The shit is just going to go up. But let me show you what Trump says about crypto. Let me see. And stocks. So you can understand it for yourself. Y'all can watch it for yourself. So you don't think that I'm making it up. Watch this. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about on this, but let's get right to what he was saying. It said Trump urges buying stock now, says Powell's. Is always late. Let's watch this video. And hopefully it. Let's skip to it. Do you hear what he's saying? He's trying to tell y'all, man. This man is trying to tell y'all right here. Because Trump is a businessman, man. People don't like this man. They don't agree with a lot of his policies and how he feels and about how much of a criminal he probably is and have been. Hey, I don't agree with a lot of it either, right? But guess what? I know a businessman when I see him. I know when money is to be made and when it's not. This man knows money. This man knows how to make money happen. Since he said this thing, all of crypto, which he said this the other day, and I've showed you guys with the charts about how it risen within the last couple of weeks. He said this and all of crypto rose up. Why? Because people are paying attention and people are buying. All the real people with money know what's about to happen. I told you guys we're approaching the end of a 4-year cycle. He knows it. I know it. Y'all need to know it. By the end of this year, crypto is going to do crazy numbers, y'all. Listen to what this man is telling y'all to do. He just told you this country will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. Because why? Because he knows about cryptocurrency. He knows exactly what's about to happen. Just like everybody else knows that's into cryptocurrency and is putting their money into cryptocurrency, they know exactly what's about to happen. So, in closing, I'm telling y'all, if you got some money to invest in the cryptocurrency, now is the time. It's not too late. I told you I bought in of XRP and at 50 cents and it went up to like 30, I'm sorry, like to $3. So that's 51, 52, 53. My money 6x'd overnight, if you can see it. At the end of Biden's term, as soon as before this man even got into office, it was announced in the end of November, President Trump is the president. My XRP 6x overnight, 6x before this man even got into office. Donald Trump opened up his own coin that did billions of dollars overnight. Within a couple of days, his coin did billions of dollars. If you invested in that coin when it first opened, you would be a millionaire right now. Donald Trump understands crypto. He is for crypto. This country is moving into a crypto lane. In a minute, all payments are going to be digital. If you notice, even on your Cash App, and I try to tell people this, even on your Cash App, before you didn't have to put anything in the for page. Like when you sending money, you could just send it. Now they're mandatory making you put something in the for section. Why? Because they're trying to keep up with the money because everything is going digital. The downside of this now, I got to keep it real with y'all. The downside of this is once everything goes digital, you're not going to be able to hide any more money. You can't hide money. Even in my profession as a barber, I get cash money, right? So I can tell the government, oh, I only made 20,000 when I may have made 100,000. So I can kind of hide it. But when this thing goes digital, you can't hide any payments that you make because it's going to be what? On the blockchain. I'm telling you guys, if you ain't hearing nothing I'm telling you tonight, go put your money in a place where the government is putting their money. All of the banks are putting their money into digital currency. You got countries like Japan. Google this, you guys. If you think I'm lying, Japan, all of the banks in Japan have chosen XRP to be its cross-border payment system. All banks in Japan. XRP is the next Bitcoin. You can hear me, you cannot hear me. But I tell you, I got my money on the winning horse. I got a lot of money on XRP. And hey, we're going to see what happens between now and the next 5 years. But I tell you, by the end of 2025, you can come back and you can check me. Because if you look at, again, the numbers, you could see how it evolves. You can see the evolution of these coins. I showed you the ones previously, but boom, 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 boom. This is going to go up to here somewhere. XRP should be around, by the end of this year, XRP should be around $10 to $20. Hey, listen to me. Nah. I gave you a quick rundown of what cryptocurrency is. And in the future, I'll come back. If you guys want to talk about it, we can actually break down what each coin does, what it represents. We can talk about the different genres of coins. Like I said, you have AI coins, which is artificial intelligence. That's what we're moving into now. All of the artificial intelligence coins are about to do stupid numbers, dumb numbers, because we're moving into an artificial intelligence world. Donald Trump already said he wants to take the U.S. money and put it into artificial intelligence. Man, I'm telling you, if y'all ain't paying attention, man, I don't know what to say. This is like the British is coming. I'm trying to give y'all the signal, man. I'm trying to give y'all the buy signal. In a minute, man, y'all gonna be phased out. People aren't gonna be able to buy this stuff, man. And if you do, you're gonna buy it at such a high price, you're gonna be like, damn, why I ain't listen? But hey, I'm only one person trying to wake the people up, man. So hey, whether you wake up or not, it's totally up to you. I'm trying to do my part, and I'm gonna keep doing my part. And the people who listening, they're gonna listen. And the people who don't, hey, it is what it is, man. I thank y'all for coming. This your boy Black Truth. We'll come back to this at a later date, man. I'm out.